The NBA trade deadline is 2 days away, and things are ramping up around the NBA, especially for the Boston Celtics, as the team is said to make a move, even if it is minor, ahead of the trade deadline. We'll be diving into that report, looking at some possible players that the Celtics could go after, some players that I would like the Celtics to go after. We'll also be looking at Shams Charania's big report about Jaylen Brown possibly participating in the NBA dunk contest, what that can mean for Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics, the NBA as a whole. And we'll also be looking at the best two-way players in the NBA and how some of these guys are getting disrespected across the league. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. But before we dive into this Boston Celtics content, I'd like to say that 79% of our viewers are not subscribed, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that big old red subscribe button, join the Celtics Digest family, and help us get to our new goal of 4,000 subscribers. We want to make sure we stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and coverage, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics news. But let's make sure to jump into this video as it's going to be a jam-packed one. Make sure to grab a snack as we're going to be looking at the first topic, which are these Celtics are proving the haters wrong. Now, I want to look at this tweet from NBA University, who's a great way to get a lot of in-depth stats and finding a lot of advanced stats for the NBA on Twitter. And they had a post go up right about an hour ago talking about players in the 85th percentile in both offensive and defensive EPM. If we want to look, there's some great superstars: Joel Embiid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo. But if you look, you can find 3 Boston Celtics on that list, and Kristaps Porzingis, Derrick White, and Jaylen Brown. Now, I know a lot of Celtics fans are definitely going to be shocked to see Jaylen Brown up there, and the Celtics haters are going to be furious to see that, because a lot of people across the NBA declare that Jaylen Brown has no left hand. Jaylen Brown can't create any offense. Jaylen Brown is just a turnover machine. Jaylen Brown can't guard your team's best player. But trust me, he can do all of those critiques and more for the Boston Celtics, and he's proved that this season. He wants to be an all-NBA first defensive player. He's claimed that at the beginning of the year. He's guarding the team's best defenders, best scorers, and putting them on isolation plays and holding his own while doing that by putting up 15, 20, even sometimes 25, 30 points on most nights for the Boston Celtics. Yes, his field goal shots aren't the most efficient sometimes, and from three-point range, he's not the greatest, but that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is attacking the rim and being a generational scorer and defender for the Celtics team, and he does that. Another player on that list that we want to mention is Kristaps Porzingis, who's been very, very great and being this versatile piece for the Boston Celtics, excelling in both the offensive and defensive side of the ball, being a great rim protector. We saw a couple nights ago getting 5 blocks for the Boston Celtics. He can step up and be that paint beast and also be one of the best post scorers in the NBA and especially for the Boston Celtics. But he can also stretch out that three-point range and be a versatile shooter for the Celtics. We saw at the beginning of the season him be very effective at three-point shooting. It's kind of slowed down this middle of the season, and this season it's been a little bit lower, not effective as we've seen in the past. But with the Boston Celtics having so much talent around him, Kristaps Porzingis can excel in the spots that he works best. If he can't stretch out and shoot the 3 that night, that's totally fine. Just feed him in the post for most of the game, and he'll be able to feast while he's down there. And another guy that I want to mention is Derrick White. Like I mentioned, Derrick White, left out of the top 100 at the start of the season on ESPN's list, was absolutely blasphemous. JJ Redick, myself, Josh, we all got up here and we all screaming to the world that Derrick White needs more recognition. He's an underrated, appreciated guy. He's gone to the role of possibly even being an all-star replacement at this point, and it's just amazing to see how far Derrick White has come for appreciation in the NBA, but with this Boston Celtics fan base as well. Known as a guy as just a role player, has really kind of excelled being that Celtics glue guy and being that all-do-it guy. You know, most consistent for the Boston Celtics, I think personally, on both sides of the ball. Comes up and shows up and hitting his big-time shots, but also can get you those blocks and show up on the defensive side of the ball with his hustle and mentality. His shot has also been a little bit, wanky this season. We've seen him go in a little bit of a shooting slump, but Derrick White, when he is in his rhythm, can bring back the Celtics in any game possible, and we saw that especially last week versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think of these 3 guys being in this list on the NBA? Like I mentioned, there's not that many guys, and 3 of them are Boston Celtics, which proves that this team is a versatile team on the offensive and defensive side of the floor, with 3 guys in Porzingis, Derrick White, and Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown needs to stop getting his disrespect across Boston. He needs his love, and he needs his praise. But let's dive into some more news, talking about Jaylen Brown again, and talking about Jaylen Brown possibly being in the dunk contest this season. Last night, we saw the big report from Shams Charania, which we got from the Dunk Central, which is saying that Jaylen Brown is extremely considering joining the NBA dunk contest. And now, what would this mean for Jaylen Brown? Personally, Jaylen Brown has been going on a tear, being that Celtics slasher and rim grazer, and he's proven that he can put on dunks on many people. He's dunked on Rudy Gobert this season, and he's dunked on plenty of other guys on this opposing teams in game for the Boston Celtics. I think he would bring some great versatility to the dunk contest, and we haven't seen a superstar or a star player in the dunk contest really since Dwight Howard in the 2010s. So it would be really, really cool to see a guy like Jaylen Brown kind of take over that and kind of bring this dunk contest back to life. We've seen the All-Star game have its hits, have its misses, and in recent years, it's had a lot of misses. So if Jaylen Brown can, liven this dunk contest up and bring it back to the stardom that it used to be, that would be great for him and himself for winning a dunk contest and, having that nature of bringing the dunk contest back, but also great for the sport of basketball, great for the All-Star weekend, great for the fans, and also great for the Boston Celtics, getting to see their star player, Jaylen Brown, go get some recognition. Obviously, with Jayson, Tatum, and the other guys like Jrue, Holiday, and Kristaps Porzingis being here, Jaylen Brown is amid all these other stars. Being on All-Star weekend by himself, getting to highlight his one thing in the dunk contest could really propel him and get him a lot of fan base and a lot of fans hyped and speculated about him, like myself, because I feel like Jaylen Brown gets a lot of undeserved hate across the NBA, across from Celtics fans in general, and I think he deserves that love and shine that he definitely deserves. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Jaylen Brown participating in the All-Star game. Lastly, let's dive into the news at hand, which is the most expected news, which is the Celtics expected to make at least one move this trade deadline. We have a report from Adam Himmelsbach here, which is in a little bit of an article in the Boston Globe that talked about a lot of different things, Jordan Walsh, Neemias Queta, a bunch of things. But in this article, we have this one paragraph here that talks about the Celtics trade deadline rumors. And it says, just like every other year, Celtics executives are continuing to make calls and look for ways to upgrade prior to Thursday's trade deadline. One leak source said it would be a surprise if the Celtics do not complete a minor move, but it would likely be to add a player as an insurance case of future injuries rather than alter the current roster. Now that makes sense for the Boston Celtics. They don't have a lot of movable contracts. The top 6 guys are obviously staying. Payton, Pritchard, and Sam Hauser are legitimate guys to help out this Celtics team and this Celtics roster going deep into the playoffs. So the only contracts that they can move are the low-end guys or possibly the Grant Williams TPE. Now, we saw last off-season, the Boston Celtics went out and did make a minor move, bringing in Mike Muscala at the trade deadline. And even though Muscala was a nice offensive big that was a third big for the Boston Celtics, he was used just as a generational tool, help out in certain spots and in certain games with certain matchups. But it's not like Mike Muscala was traded for, came in, was the backup center, took over some big minutes, and was going to, be a vital part to this team. And I kind of think that's how the Celtics are going to monitor this trade deadline as well. I do believe that a guy that the Boston Celtics has been rumored to get is John Konchar. And I think that's probably the most likely guy the Celtics will go after, just because he's on a team like the Grizzlies who, aren't that great. Konchar can be, a great defensive piece for the Boston Celtics, and he's on a cheapish contract to bring in just to be, an additional role player to help out. Kind of takes over that speed role and can be, another ball handler, but also, another defender to help at the wing position and at the guard position as well. Personally, I'd really like the Celtics to go after a guy in Sadiq Bey and Andre Drummond. I think those guys help out the Celtics a little bit more. I like Drummond's versatility at the rebounding and bringing a lot of offensive rebounds with the Celtics stream to struggle at. And I do like Sadiq Bey as, that big-time wing that the Celtics are going after, providing that three-point efficiency. And I think he could be, a great piece to help out on this bench role, taking a little bit over Oshae Brissett maybe, and Lamar Stevens kind of playing in that wing as well. We'll have to wait and see what the Celtics do. I ultimately do think that they will make a move like Adam Himmelsbach did say right here, even if the move is a minor move, like I mentioned, a guy that's $2-3 million. I think that they will make that move, even if that move is bringing up Neemias Queta as well as that 15th roster spot. We'll have to wait and see. The Celtics will be active ahead of Thursday, and definitely will not be slowing down. If you want to stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and news like this, hit that subscribe button if you're still at this point in the video and you haven't, as you'll make sure to stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics news. I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode here of Celtics Digest, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.